What's up? It's Mystic Zach. Welcome to the Kiss and The Myst. We are here live at the beautiful House of Athlete facility. I'm joined by my co-host, the best bartender in the rap game, the king of Yonkers, Jadakiss.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Your boy Kiss, my co-host, Mystic Zach. Today's a special episode. You want to let them know?
Yeah, I do. And, on this show, we don't cover just sports. We cover lifestyle. We cover the mental aspects. We cover fashion. We do a multitude of things. And
health and wellness.
I think our guest today perfectly encapsulates everything that we cover.
Definitely.
I'd like to welcome one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game, turned media personality, Brandon Marshall.
Yes, sir.
Legend. Young legend. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you for coming on, brother.
Respect.
Big love.
I love this.
Where you want to start at, Zach? Because I know you're ecstatic right now, so I'll let you start off.
Yeah, you love this. We see you talking. You're running a lot of shows right now. We see you on TV, big time networks. What has the transition been like from playing in the NFL to the media?
When people say transition, and it's interesting, every time we have artists on, I always want to talk to you guys about transition as well. You know what I mean? How does an artist retire? Is there a retirement plan? Is there a 401k, pension, all of those things? We have a whole system around us as athletes. This topic around transition is always thrown out there around athletes. At 6, I started playing ball, and this is what I was born to do. And then it's taken away from you for a lot of dudes at 24, 25, 26. They make it to the league, right? And that's the 1%. But if you make it to the place that I made it to, where I played 13 years, you're still young. You're 35, 36, 37. You got your whole life ahead of you. And I feel like a lot of us are one of the reasons why we struggle, where you hear the statistics all the time, 80% of us go broke, 80% of us get divorced, 80% of us is in ruins, is because there's no plan for that transition. So in 2015, man, I spent 3 months at Harvard building out that plan, that transition. So I always looked at it as not as a transition, it's just whatever I'm going to do post-career, I was going to start at the height of my career, right? That was the goal. I wanted to have this already open. I had 3 locations. I wanted to have the media side going. I wasn't producing my own shows. I ain't have my own network. I was on Showtime. I was on the ESPNs of the world. And so everything I'm doing now, I actually sat down and built that plan out when I was all Pro Bowl. So, the transition for me, it's been interesting because I'm using different parts of my brain now, creativity. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had to be creative. As an artist, you can make a song every day. And it's you just jump out of bed, I want to go create this, I want to go do that. And so on the media side, I can start a new show every day. And so I'm learning how to, manage that part. I'm learning how to, lead a team. Now our team, we got a staff of 80 people.
Wow.
So that's the stuff that I'm in now, is using different parts of my brain and learning new skills, right, to do what I'm doing now.
I think that's very interesting. And I always say artists and athletes go hand in glove because, like you said, I could make a song every day.
Right.
I never thought I had to work out, or I never felt like I had to eat right.
Right.
To go make a song, and then you learn, movement is medicine, health is wealth. You gotta, people just look at you for your craft and your skill set of what you can do and never see the other parts of behind the thing. I love how you targeted and challenged mental health. I seen you dealing with it while you was in the league, and for your business savvy, the transition or whatever words people want to use, I think you did an amazing job after football. Everybody know on the field, probably one of the best ever, but off the field, incredible. You gotta get your flowers for this facility, for what you're doing for the culture, for what you're doing with mental health, and what you're doing for young athletes is is going to be around forever.
Right.
I think your legacy and the mark you're leaving will be here long after we're all gone.
Right.
This is one of them type of marks that you're doing. It got goosebumps walking around on the tour, just kicking it. This is like life changing for me. So I know what it's doing for the world.
That's crazy to me, man. Like, I get this thing about creativity again. I just played ball. I knew at 3, 4 years of age I was going to play ball, and so I say that because, when you create something and you can provoke a feeling like that, you walk in and say, damn, I got goosebumps, or man, you giving me my flowers, thank you so much. Coming from you, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, you know how it is. You create a song, you make that album, and then it's like, yo, people really rocking with this. The verses thing is like, yeah, this is what you do, but they hear that love and that reception. It's like catching a touchdown. It's like, oh, wow. So that means a lot, because that's exactly what I want to do. I want my legacy and the mark that I leave on the world is that, like, yo, he was one of the faces of mental health, and he changed the way we approached it, the conversation. 10 years ago, at the height of my career, it's like, yo, I just spent 3 months at McLean Hospital, diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. What the hell is borderline personality disorder? That's an emotional disorder. Like, you know what I mean? Something happened, and then can I self-regulate? Can I bring myself back down to baseline? And those are things I didn't have, and so I had to learn that. And so, like, to start that to be a part of starting that conversation was important. And I'm just excited to see that we're pushing that conversation forward. Now you're seeing the Naomi Osakas of the world,
now Kevin Loves,
right,
DeMar DeRozan,
Dak Prescott,
right,
Dak Prescott, yeah,
right,
you made people wanting to talk about it. Charlemagne the God, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing.
That's right. That's right.
How important do you think it is for us as the media to embrace people being open about their mental health?
I think it's everything. I think vulnerability is key, and it's like when if I stand up, well, it's not if, because I've done it. When I say, look, my name is Brandon Marshall, this is what I dealt with, this is what I'm going through. There's someone else out there on the other side of the camera that's going through that same thing, and it gives them the courage to be able to stand up and do it. Like, there's been many times, man, where people walked up to me and said, you or your foundation saved my life. Like, literally, like, I was going to jump off a bridge, I was going to do this, but I went on YouTube and I saw you speaking at the Forbes Health Summit. I saw you speaking at the Kennedy Forum, and what you said, that really just inspired me to get help. So it's everything. It just needs to be real. The problem in the mental health space is that it's so clinical and it's so stuffy. So when you go to these events, we're talking about real stuff. Not everybody make it. So, and it's white men and women in suits. Right? So for us or Charlemagne to be talking about it the way we talk about it, that's what people connect with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's everything to be able to have these conversations this way.
What's up, guys? It's The Myst from the Kiss and The Myst podcast, and I'm going to assume that when you put your bets in, you do research on what you're going to bet, right? But what about where you're going to bet? BetOnline.ag is an OG in this sports betting game, and they've been the most trusted sports betting site for over 20 years now. If you want true trust and satisfaction, go with Worldstar Hiphop's official sports betting partner, BetOnline.ag, and cash in with Kiss and The Myst today.
Well, let's talk about sports a little bit. How you feel about Tom Brady coming back after the semi-retirement?
It feels right.
Feels right. I kind of felt bad with him. It didn't sit well with me with TB12 retiring.
No.
It felt like he had some more in the tank.
Well, I mean, he's 43, 44?
Yeah.
His age is that, but his game doesn't show that. He plays them. They don't let him get hit for one.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might go to jail, you hit him too hard, so they protecting him, but he plays pretty damn good.
The thing for me, the reason why it feels right is because of this. When you think about Tom, he said, look, I'm going to play until I'm 45, right? So he's 44. He said, I'm going to play till I'm 45. He said that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everything is calculated with Tom. He's one of the realest, but at the same time, there's strategy behind Tom Brady. He's calculated. So it felt rushed.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you retire, like you said. He's 44. He leads the league in passing yards. He leads the league in touchdowns. like at that age,
Crazy.
and then you walk away.
Yeah.
You know, a year before you said you would.
Yeah.
And it's like now, like him coming back, it gives us an opportunity to really celebrate him and have this going out party, which I think is right. But I will also say this: if I was Tom Brady, and this is my buddy, like we talk sometimes here and there, I would have went out after the Super Bowl. Can you think about that?
Yeah.
You win the Super. How many athletes?
I think that's what he wanted to do. He thought that was going to happen this year, and he was going to go out like that, and they kind of spoiled his plans.
Right.
That's the best way to go out.
The thing with Tom though, and my wife, I was talking to my wife about this because she was talking about this. You know, he's talking about Tom Brady, and I was just like, no, it's hard to go to the Super Bowl. She was like, well, not for him. You know what I mean? Like he really thinks. You know how hard it is to go to the Super Bowl.
That's a norm for him, mate.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like you just did it at 43. Go out, bye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He might not ever go to another Super Bowl because you got to think about it's not just him. We talking about the war of attrition. What is that? We talking about health.
Mm-hmm.
The injury rate in the NFL is 100%. So you got AB go down. You got Mike Evans go down. You got your left guard go down. You got the defensive end go down. Those are dudes you counting on to go there. So for you to make it to the Super Bowl, there's a lot that go into it from a health standpoint, guys' minds being right, the coach calling the right plays, the ball just bouncing
a little bit of luck. Yeah, everything plays. There's a bunch of ingredients that's required to go in to just make it to the Super Bowl, let alone win it.
He won 7, and what did he lose? He won 7, and he lost 3 or 4?
3 or 4, yeah.
3.
3?
2 to the Giants, 1 to the Eagles.
See,
he's my analytics guy.
Right. Yeah,
now,
speaking of
quarterbacks, not to disrespect none of the quarterbacks you played with, but maybe Jay Cutler was the best, I say, that you had. And the numbers you put up on several teams is impeccable.
Right.
How was you able to do that?
It's crazy. I had 17 quarterbacks. I was just having this conversation with Jarvis Juice Landry, the receiver.
Peace to Juice.
Yep. So we were just talking about it because, like, you know, he trains here. And so I get an opportunity to sit down and break bread with some of the guys training here. And we just talk strategy or whatnot. And I just told him, like, and it's tough because you're on a team. And so, like, you got to really check your ego out the door for everything to work. But at the end of the day, it's a business. And they're thinking as a business. And we don't think like that as athletes. The way I did it was, you know, when you talk about, like, how are you able to do that? It was like, there was a expectation every single day when I walked into the meeting room, the practice, on the practice field, game day. Like, it wasn't a selfish thing. It was like, I want to really win. I want to really win bad. And you telling me I'm one of the best players on this team. You're telling me I'm the best player on the offense or one of the best. So get me involved. And so, like, you know, I just came in with this energy every single day, and it put a lot of pressure on our offensive coordinator. It put a lot of pressure on our quarterback and our team. And I had to learn how to be more diplomatic. I had to learn how to work with that type of mindset. But, like, that was it, though. And I wouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and the reason why I say that is because if I walk out there, because my success is in the hands of so many other people, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, the offensive line, right? If I don't produce, I don't eat. So if I don't say anything, then I don't eat. But then if I say something, then I'm selfish. How do you
deal with that?
You know what I'm saying? Now the receivers is deemed, you know, divas. We're selfish, but you got to think about that, you know? And that's why I brought up Jarvis, is because we've had these conversations the last 2 years, and now he's dealing with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, and, you know, he loves Baker. He loves Cleveland. But at the end of the day, now he wasn't able to produce at the like Jarvis is like me, like 100 catches easy every year. And now you just ask the man to take a pay cut. Then you cut the man because you go get another receiver. And he's sitting here thinking like, okay, we're going to figure this out. You know what I mean?
He's in impeccable shape. He invited me to a softball game in Cleveland. He was smacking at a home run derby. He was putting them things over the fence like crazy, Juice Landry, man. His body's incredible.
Super competitive. Work ethic, crazy. Dog, man, he a dog. But there's a lot of cats in that position, man, where I think the thing I'm on too when it comes to sports, and especially in football, man, we just got to boss up. There's no emotion in money. And the problem is as an athlete, you know, we get into the team thing, and it's important. Oh, and the loyalty and all of that, but they not thinking like that. So when your production slip, ain't no we need that pay
the
cut.
loyalty goes.
It
just
goes.
like with the record labels.
That's right.
Same thing. That's why I am an artist. I am an athlete. I'm always for the artist. I'm always for the athlete.
Right.
Because they put us on the top of the totem pole. When your production slips, they forget about you, but they don't forget what you made them.
Right.
When you were producing like that. So
right.
that loyalty no longer remains, and then the turbulence kicks in. So
right.
I know how it goes. How important is it after, you know, being successful to giving back to the community and doing things for the youth and things of that nature, just, you know, putting it back out there?
I feel like it's a duty, it's a responsibility, and it's different levels to it. You know, to me, it's all about like doing what you love and leaving like your community, starting with yourself, then your community, and then it goes out to the city and the state and then the country and the world if you had that capacity and you had that, right? So for me, it's just a part of it. It's just like, at the end of the day, how you gonna make the world a better place? Mm-hmm. You know, so like even this facility, everywhere we open up a house of athletes is gonna be a tribe house where we come from. Like where I come from, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, it's the poorest county in Pennsylvania, right? Like I need this, but they can't afford it. So what I look at is how we take the revenue, the profits that we take in here, put it over in these facilities, you know, whether it's in Brooklyn, whether it's in Inglewood, whether it's in Opelika, right, where these single parents, these youth athletes, they can't afford it. But now the people who can afford it, 10, 20% of their dues is going out and funding the whole operation. So that's what I'm on. You know, and I'm trying to do something globally with this. I just feel like it's our duty, man. I feel like it's a duty, like how I'm good. You know, I'm buying a $4 million home, living down here in sunny South Florida, traveling the world, driving all the cars, and then my mom, my grandma, my aunts, like the people in my circle, like they barely getting by. You know, and that's a process. Like it's like I always tell my people, use me, but don't use me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, look, I'm blessed and it's bigger than me, but like, you know, I got to do what's best for my family. And part of that is like, come to me if I draw a circle and put the people that it's like, yo, these people I rock with. They got my back. Okay, now I'm gonna try to help you. And so the way to do that is, if you got an idea, don't come to me with an idea. Come to me with the idea and the business plan, right? And it's well thought out. You did your research, you did your work. So then I can come and I say, look, I'm making $10 million a year right now. Here go 100,000, because now you out my pockets and you good. Yeah. And then when we go out to eat, now you might pick up
you
the
can
bill.
Cover the tab, yeah.
That is bro, you know how that feels when you out with your people and they like, you know, I got this
I got it. It's beautiful.
We don't need it. Or even if it's just on your birthday or something, they like, yo, I bought you something.
Got you something, yeah.
I don't need it, but that means everything. And we in position to be able to put people on, but the way we got to do it is different.
Gotta help me be able to help you, not just come to me with. I go through the same.
And that's the easiest way to get it too. I'm saying it right now. It's the easiest way to get it. It's like, don't come. You gotta be really buttoned up. Like, do the work, man. Like, this is a business. You talking about being a part of a multi-billion-dollar industry. Sports, $16 billion industry. Like, we business. We learning business and all of that. So come to that person with that. Like, look, I spent 6 months studying this. Here's the comparison companies. All right, here's the market. Here's the demographic. All right, here's my 5-year roadmap. Here's the forecast. You can learn this on YouTube and Google. And then if you do that, the person on the other side of the table gonna be sitting back like, wow, like
you really did this.
You really
now you
did
make
this.
me wanna, you make me wanna help you now.
I'm geek for you.
I'm geek for you. Facts.
There you go, boom, that's easy. It's just hard when you got 100 people coming at you and they're like, this person need 20, even 500. Like, think about, there was one week, man, I counted this up. This was like towards the end of my career. I had 30 people in 1 week ask me for something. $500 to paying off my mortgage. Like, both ends of the spectrum.
30. It's crazy.
So people look at you crazy when they're like, yo, it's only a couple $100. It's like, but do you know, it's like how many?
28 other people asked me for something too.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? So it's
crazy.
just like, you gotta have a plan in place, you know?
Facts.
And then you also gotta know you might not be in that circle.
Yeah, you might not make the circle, so then you gotta figure it out.
What's up? It's The Myst from the Kiss and The Myst podcast, and Worldstar Hiphop proudly endorses BetOnline.ag as its official sports book and proudly recognizes it as the OG in the sports betting world. Let's get that money with BetOnline.ag. But we see the top 75 NBA list. This was a big thing. Kiss, you were at the All-Star game. This was like a widely heralded thing to celebrate the anniversary. Very dope. Anthony Davis makes it. Guys like Dwight Howard, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, carried the Magic to a finals, has been putting in work for a long time. Multiple time All-Star, doesn't make it. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Anthony Davis?
I think it's a tough spot, man. Like, you know, when it comes to any of these lists, whether it's in music and sports, it's tough. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great people. He's not the only one, you know. So, man, Dwight Howard, you know, when you look at his body of work, he should have made the top 75.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like he said, it goes like music.
Yeah.
White might have slipped a little because right now the current players, there's
media PR to it.
There's a bunch of stuff with it. So when you break down the analytics, sure he's supposed to be there. When you look at the NBA right now,
yeah,
you're gonna say AD. But I think he made enough noise when they do the top 100. They're gonna have to put White in there. Yeah,
I want them to admit, like, hey, he should have made the last one.
Right.
Clay.
Yeah,
Clay was
too.
pissed off about
Clay
that.
I think Dwight is even more of a case, but Clay's a great player. But I want to touch on that, especially in sports. I've seen that it's the only industry where perception outweighs reality.
Right.
And I'm not a fan, you know, I'm not just a fan, I'm into analytics stats. I worked with FAU football as the youngest Division I intern under your coach, you know, Coach DJ, everything. And we've seen guys like you have very prolific careers. You had 8 1,000-yard seasons. You did it on 4 different teams. You had over 12,000 career yards, right? Incredible career.
Boy.
You're one of the best run blockers to ever do it as well. You did it across multiple systems. Like you said, 17 different quarterbacks. And we've seen other guys, great receivers as well, much shorter primes. Their stats don't look as good. But if we compare you to them, the average fan might not even know who has the most yards, might not know his most touchdowns. And
like
you know,
said,
my favorite guy ever, Des Bryant,
all play a part.
he's my favorite player ever.
Right.
I grew up a Cowboys fan. I love Des. He was a great receiver. Drew Pearson was my dad's favorite receiver.
Yeah.
Both of those guys, their stats don't really touch a guy like yours, but the average fan, your average Joe, isn't going to be able to. I guarantee if I ask them to rank the 3 of you, they won't know how much you outstack them.
No.
And you're one of the greatest to ever do it. Seriously.
Yeah, I think for me, you know, in this situation, you know, when we talk about stats, we talk about, you know, comparing. It's like, bro, I was a tight end playing wide receiver. I was a defensive end playing wide receiver.
We just said that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
that's ill. He did say that.
Yeah, it's just like,
tight end strength, wide receiver, hands and speed. It was almost impossible to tackle.
Right, and so like when you think about a receiver, you think about the swagger, you think about the speed and the moves and all of that. I played the game just totally different. I played it like a running back, you know what I mean? Because I grew up playing running back, and then I hit that growth spurt that you talked about, and I was like, okay, this is where I'm gonna be, but I'm 6'5", 230, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like, and I played like that, so I think it's hard. Cause like when I sit back and I look at my favorite receivers, like, oh, look at Justin Jefferson. Like I'm talking about now. Look at Devontae Adams, you know, Tyreek Hill, Odell Beckham Jr., you know, and I can go on and on and on. You know, I got to put the bigs in there too. Mike Evans, I love Mike Evans and love Allen Robinson. But like, why aren't we talking about Allen Robinson?
Exactly.
Why aren't we talking about Mike Evans? Right? Think about that.
Yeah.
We forget about some of those big receivers. You know, Calvin Johnson was like he's one of the few when you think about like
an exception.
Yeah, I mean, he was a freak because he was my size, but he ran a 4.3. You know, so like, you know, it's tough. It's tough. You know, it's like because that you got to have that flair with it as well, and a lot of these things.
And
it's like artists, right? Like you could have a flow, but if you ain't got like that, you don't know how to.
You need the whole. Making the music is only a small percentage of it.
Right.
It's a whole it's more than just going in the studio with a good beat, some good bars, and that's not just gonna get over. You gotta put a marketing plan with it. You gotta put a visual with it. You gotta know what day to let it out, what time, who's the right DJ to premiere it, and what platform do you go to, Apple first or Spotify or this, that.
Right.
So it's a whole, you know what I mean? Creating a song is just a figment of what it takes for it to go have legs.
Talk to me about like stage presence. I know this is, you know, y'all got me in the seat here, but like, I mean, you here.
Stage presence is something that requires...
And your stage presence though, because it's like, I mean, you ain't dancing, you ain't doing all of that, but you got it, like, there's a flow to it, right? Like, talk to me about
Shout out to Puff. Puff, with all the stuff we went through being on Bad Boy, learning how to perform and stage presence, I think he instilled that in us more than anything.
Right.
It could be Summer Jam or Coachella, down to a hole in the wall. He was adamant about rehearsal. No matter what, from the smallest to the biggest, we had to do a minimum of like a week rehearsal. Every time we ever went on tour, we probably did a month of rehearsing in a big empty warehouse. So he was very meticulous and very adamant about rehearsing.
Right,
so that just came across to us. You know, that's instilled in us. And even when Big was alive, he always would tell you, try to sound like the record as much as, if you could damn near sound like the record, the crowd's gonna love it. And just some little things, really never turning your back to the crowd. Don't cup the mic. Don't throw, no, you see people throwing water, but you really ain't supposed to throw anything into the crowd because you allow them to throw anything back. And
Right.
Get set off. But just little things, and then it takes time, the repetitive, keep going at it, working at it, and you get good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's not just something, I don't think nobody's born with stage, that ain't just something that comes with you. You're gonna go through, you gotta go through the work, the run of the mill and start.
Yeah, I always wondered that, because like in hip hop, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't wanna see you dancing.
Yeah, because a lot of people that don't want to put the work in, let me get some background singers, blow up something over there, and now it takes away. I could just do the song.
You know what it is? Prime
harder.
example, and I ain't trying to get messy on y'all show. I know what y'all show about.
Nah, we about everything.
We do everything.
Okay. Drake and Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, both phenomenal at what they do. They do the event together. Kanye is performing. Drake up there rapping. It was a difference. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye, I mean, he had a little moment, he did a little dance or whatever, but that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's the details of it. It's the mastery of the craft.
Then
you know what I'm saying?
Now it's so, the word art is thrown around so loosely now. Besides being actually a canvas with a big painter work on it, anything's art.
Right.
So some of these events that get booked, it's perceived as it's going to be like a concert, and it's real. Some of them are just gatherings and fundraisers or outlets to sell merch.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You never know what you're going to get at these events. You know what I mean? So that's why you enjoy a good concert that has the elements of rap, you know what I mean, craftsmanship. Those hit the center mass, opposed to just going to these artsy kind of concerts where the crowd is, the turnout's impeccable, $500 merch, T-shirts,
unbelievable. The business around
stars are there, media and PR blow it up, and then it's the place to be if you wasn't there and you missed it. But if you was there, you really like, what is this?
We touched on it earlier. You played for the Jets and the Giants. New York, the mecca of hip hop. How important is hip hop in football, in the locker room? Are you bumping Jadakiss?
Working out,
is that a part
stretching,
of the culture? Working out, stretching, getting ready.
Yeah, I think music is everything, you know. And when you think about like hip hop, it's just my culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even, I don't even like separate the two, because, you know, like I actually grew up on your music. I'm from Pittsburgh, so like Pittsburgh's an interesting place. We're not Philly, we're not New York, but it's still East Coast, right? But it's like Ohio, so it kind of got like a Midwest vibe to it. But like really, like we pull from Philly, we pull from New York, but like we got our own vibe, and so I grew up on your music. You know what I mean? Like for real, like you know that's it. You know we talk about our top 5. It's you know we gonna put Kiss in there, we gonna put the Locks in there, like, and I'm not just saying that because you here. That's just facts.
Yeah,
appreciate.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, as an athlete, you need something that's gonna move you. So like, I need something where it's gonna get me my mind right. You know what I mean? That's music. So when I'm locking in and I'm just trying to focus, or then you know there could be that moment right before kickoff or going out in the tunnel. I need something that's gonna get me hyped. Come back into the locker room. That's another sound, right? You know, after the game, going home, that's another sound. You know what I'm saying? So like, hip hop is huge, and it's just funny, man. You walk in, you know, the locker room, 95% of what you hearing is gonna be hip hop. That's it.
Still.
Everybody, like, I mean, we're not coming, and you got Phil Collins. Phil Collins, you know, we got that, but we not running out the tunnel to, or in the locker room getting ready to like some pop music or something, or some.
That ain't gonna do it.
We'll throw some rock on there every once in a while because we try to, you know, we ain't trying to discriminate.
Yeah, we gotta keep the balance.
Room, yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Gotta keep some balance
don't
in
me,
there.
man.
Yeah, so like, but I don't even think like, to me, I'm being honest. You know, when I think about the Locks, I think about like you. It's on like, man, it's like it molds and shape. Y'all music, do y'all you know this? But how it's like y'all music molded and shaped so many of us. You know what I mean? So like when it talk football, it transcends football. His music, y'all music transcends football. Like you think about when I'm in elementary school, middle school, high school, listening to y'all, college, listening to y'all. Like that's the stuff that's telling me how to navigate and what life is. Like
that's ill.
You know, so when I'm listening to y'all and Jay-Z, like, you know, y'all there's some things I play, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I'm sitting in the dorm, I might be studying, and I get, you know, Kiss on in the back.
Jewels in there, no doubt.
Yeah.
That and
going out with my lady. You know
them things right there is more priceless to me than any big contract, any type of money, any finances. When you can say, yo, your music, I listened to it, high school, college, and it helped me navigate. That means a lot. That makes me want to make more.
That's right. You know what I mean? That's right.
And that keeps the passion there and keeps the drive.
It's
and
everything.
Just makes me want to keep creating.
And then also like, and you know, I love talking business, and business is like, you know what I mean? Like how y'all dress. That's the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like we not going out there and just coming up with this style. It's like, no, what's Butters? Well, that's what we call them in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
we call them Butters.
There's Butters everywhere.
Okay,
no
yeah.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you think we got that from?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The hats.
Yeah, we spoke about AI a lot.
Yeah, that's where we getting it from. And now you got athletes starting to get into that. You know what I'm saying? But you talk about business and commerce, like what watch we wearing, jewelry, clothes, and all of that. Like, that's us.
Yeah.
Why it's y'all? I'm saying us. You know, it's y'all.
Nah, it's us. And we gonna wrap it up. We appreciate you allowing us to come in your house, your facility. This might be the best episode yet.
Wow.
You said it was gonna be the best.
I knew it. But wait, can I get your thoughts on one more thing? It's been on my mind the whole time. This has, to me, been the most important discussion that's been had over the offseason. I think you have a close relationship. You played for the Dolphins for years.
Right.
And we spoke about perception versus reality as far as athletes goes. And I think what was undersold before this year is perception versus reality as far as coaching goes.
Yep.
Coach Brian Flores, a renowned assistant for the Patriots, Super Bowl, winning coach, comes over the Dolphins. He's coming off a 2-winning season. They just won 8 of their last 9 games, right? They're hot. He gets fired. It seems like other coaches are given more opportunities, more chances. Do you think that's a perception versus a reality thing? Do you think it's as simple as race? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh no, it's reality, and it's across all industries. You know what I mean? And the thing is, it's like, you know, in music, we can be ourselves. You know, you can be unapologetic about who you are. You actually, that's what your career is built off of. In sports, right? We're talking about
Fine line.
It's a fine line. Like the stuff that you might get, you know, a deal over. If I say something or do something, that same company going take my contract away, right? So like in sports, the problem is this, is like when you do get your opportunity, they want you to play by the rules. They want you to be a certain way, and that's not okay. You know, I mean, this is across all industries, so it's definitely one reality. We got to change that. I mean, the numbers are there. Everything is about numbers. 80% of the league is black. It's minorities, okay? And, you know, going into this year, we had 4 black coaches. Now I don't even know, maybe we got 2, 3, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And what happened with Flores? Somebody hired him as
He's an assistant, a defensive assistant for the Steelers, a guy who I'm a big football guy. I consider him to be in the upper echelon of head coaches.
And I seem like they did that to just, let's get this thing.
And we've seen guys with lesser accomplishments.
Water on the fire.
Chances.
You can get an assistant job over here at the Steelers, so we don't got to talk about it no more.
Well, you got Coach Tomlin there.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Tomlin.
Shout out to Coach Tomlin.
And so, I mean, there's a lot, but you're right, there's a lot to it. You know what I mean? Yeah, things got to change. Like things have to change. And so, you know, I support him, you know, in this lawsuit against the NFL. I love the NFL. Thank you. You know, it changed my life. It saved my life. Generations after me, being able to, you know, come from where I come from, and now I'm being able to say my kids will be good. That started there. So, you know, I understand what football has done for me, but at the same time, like, you know, a lot has to change when it comes to us in the sport. Talk about, you know, we need ownership at the top. You know, like, we need to have a seat at the table. That's where it's really going to change. So I don't even care about the Rooney Rule. I don't even care about, you know, all these other little programs they're trying to put in place. If you're not represented at the table, then there ain't going to be no representation anywhere else.
Facts. That's fact.
You know what I'm saying? Who's sitting at the table when they talking about these things and saying, have y'all thought about this community? Have y'all thought about this type of person that it could affect? So, you know, we need that. But it's a they call it the billionaires club. I don't forget what they call it, but there's 32 of them. Yeah. And they all work together. Yeah. And it's all
once they lock in, it's airtight.
Airtight.
We've seen it over and over again.
You know how hard it is to get like you can have the money times
and you still
3 times over,
and they won't let you in.
You gotta
it don't got nothing to do with the money.
Right.
Yeah. They ain't letting us in.
There's a lot of lessons to learn from it, but at the same time, you know, but it's going to take the players, it's going to take the coaches to stand up and say, you know what, enough's enough. So it can't just be Coach Flores.
Has to be collectively. Yeah, correct. He's on the island by himself. If he, you know, he's like Tom Hanks with the volleyball. If he had, if he needs some help. It's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of help, collective help.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And prayer.
Yep.
Shout out to Coach Flores. Shout out to Coach Tomlin. I had to get that question out. I had to get your thoughts on that. You know, I think it's complete bullshit what Coach Brian Flores went through, and I think it's important that we speak out.
I'm proud of you touching on that issue, Zach.
Dope.
I'm proud of you for that. Good stuff, man.
All right. Before we close out, on Kiss and the Myst, we like to do a little drip check.
Ooh.
Today.
And I know you got your own clothing brand.
Yeah.
That's what's fire.
That's what's so fire about it.
Telling us about
you got your own clothing brand. Jada's
Right.
got his own clothing brand. I'm working on my own clothing brand. Tell us what you got on, B.
This is House of Athlete.
House of Athlete.
Yeah, this is it. So my wife is the creative director for House of Athlete. So everything, like, she designed all of this.
Fire.
You know, so from a brick and mortar standpoint, every facility, that's her. And then from an apparel standpoint, like, we want to compete in the athleisure space. We want to take it the distance. So we're starting off, we're learning a lot. But this is House of Athlete, designed by Mishi.
Shout out to House of Athlete,
Appreciate
the
that.
absolute nicest facility I've ever been to or seen. If you're an athlete, if you're someone who's trying to even get in shape, we talked about that. This is absolutely the facility for you, House of Athlete, right here in sunny Florida.
Cool. Dope.
Kiss, what you got on today?
I'm light, man. I knew
You right.
I knew this episode was more about the dialogue than the drip, but I got on some Supreme Air Force Ones.
That is not light.
Pair of
That is light.
Mike
Light
and
for Jada
Mary's.
is heavy for others.
Mike and Mary's, shout out to the family, Rock Nation t-shirt.
How you light? How you light? The Mary, the Supreme.
I'm light. I'm light, B. I'm light, baby.
And then the watch.
Be light. You know what I mean? I always think about the picture of Bill Gates and who was the other rich guy? Warren Buffett. They got on Target.
Right.
They got on nothing. And you see what they doing out here. So
Right.
young guys, the youth, don't get misconstrued about this materialistic items. You know what I mean? It's all about having good credit, assets, taking care of your family, ownership, things of that nature. Of course, we only live once, and if you wanna enjoy yourself, enjoy it, but don't jump out the window. That's the best way for me to explain it. We wrapping up here. We had legendary Hall of Famer, just an all-around great person, Brandon Marshall. We love you, baby.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Hello.
for having me. Yes, Sirski. That's it for Kiss and The Myst.
That's dope.